Well, tonight I've got a recipe for you. It is actually a quite, first of all, it's very, very delicious, but it's also very light. And this is very Weight Watcher friendly. So any of my Weight Watcher buddies out there, these turn out to be 1 point per stuffed chicken breast. And what I'm making is spinach and artichoke stuffed chicken breast. So I've already started. I started out with it. This is enough stuffing to make 8 chicken breasts, but I'm only making 4. So I started out with this Laughing Cow light Swiss, and I used 4 wedges, and I already have them in my supersonic chopper. So I have 4 wedges of the light Swiss. You can use whatever kind you like. They have some jalapeno and all kinds of different flavors of the Laughing Cow. But I'm going to add to that 1/2 cup of cooked drained spinach. So that's my spinach, just a 1/2 cup in this amount. And also I'm going to add my artichokes. So I forget how many artichokes I'm supposed to add. I have the artichoke hearts that are packed in water, and I want to say I'm supposed to put 4, but these are quartered, so I'm not sure. I think I'm supposed to put 4 artichoke halves, but I'm just going to put about as much as the spinach that's in there. So maybe half of this jar. This is just a little, I want to say a 14-ounce jar. Maybe it's not even that much. Maybe it's an 8-ounce. Let's see. And I'm just putting them all in there for my chopping. And this is the stuffing for my chicken breast. If you're not a big spinach fan, you don't really notice the spinach. It's just absolutely delicious. That's probably enough. We'll just put one more in for good measure. There we go. All right. In addition to the spinach, the cheese, and the artichokes, I need an 1/8 teaspoon of salt and pepper. And I just grabbed my shakers because I didn't want to, I got home late. So I'm doing an 1/8 teaspoon of each. And if you didn't know, that's a pinch, but I think it's a little bit more than my personal pinch. So an 1/8 teaspoon of salt, an 1/8 teaspoon of pepper. And I'm just going to put that right in there on top of everything. And that is it. That's my stuffing. So we're going to chop it up and get that going. So I'm using my blades. I'm not using my beaters because those artichoke hearts do need to get chopped up. Got it locked in place. And I want it to be really chopped up. So I'm going to give it quite a few chops. It doesn't take too many. Give it a shake. Do it a couple more times. Don't do that. It hurts your knuckles. Don't let it slip. Now we're on to our chicken breast. Now, what the recipe calls for is that you take your chicken breasts, you slice them thin, and you pound them out. But I purchased the thin sliced chicken breasts, so I didn't feel that they needed any more. They're very thin. I didn't feel that they needed to be any thinner. So I did not pound these out. They say to put it between 2 pieces of like saran wrap as you pound them, but I don't think that that's necessary. So I've got two of my little thin guys. I want to get my chopper open because we're just going to spread this right on them. Now, if you want, you could put a little additional salt and pepper on here, but I think that the salt and pepper, if I can open this, will be in good shape. I am turning it the proper way, but my hands are slightly slippery. There we go. I always do that. I get my hands dirty. Get my blades out of there. I'm afraid of these guys. Be very careful with your blades. They come with a protector, so be sure you're using that. And then this is enough, like I said, for 8 stuffed chicken breasts. I'm only making 4 tonight, or 5. I'm not sure how many I have in there, but you just put it thinly on there and just spread it out. And this whole stuffed chicken breast, one of them is going to be 1 point. So if you're a Weight Watcher like I am, that's only 1 point. That's great. And then I'm making these tonight in my Micro Pro grill. The time I'm going to guess, and then I might add more time. So I'm going to have to update that on the Cooking with Tupperware page as I figure that out, because this is the first time I'm making them in my MicroPro grill. I haven't made these actually for a long time. I don't think I've made them since I've been a Tupperware lady. I just hit my 1-year mark. So once you've got your cheese and artichoke and spinach spread on there, you're just going to roll them. I have a couple of toothpicks here. I think it only ever really takes one. They kind of stay together, so it's not too much of an issue. But I'm starting with my skinny end and rolling out to the wide end. And when you get it rolled up, just poke a toothpick in there to hold it together. And then I've got my grill already. Don't need any oil or anything in your grill. You're just going to put that right in there. Just make sure your toothpick is kind of going inward. And I'm going to put these along the outside because I'm only doing a few. So I'll do a circle around the outside. But let's start with that skinny end. Roll it, roll it, roll it. I thought that the cheese would ooze out, but it doesn't. It doesn't really ooze out. It just kind of stays in there. It's amazing. And they're so good. There you go. So I'm going to do the rest of them, but I just want to stop there for now. But I'm not done. Don't cut me off yet, Pam. Need my towel. So my next little thing, whenever I was calling one of my teammates, oh, just so you know, I'm going to put this in my microwave in the casserole position. I want that. I don't want it in the grill position. And I'm going to microwave this for 20 minutes to start. Well, I think I'm going to do it for 15 minutes because they aren't that thick. And then I'm going to check them and then maybe add a five minutes, turn them a bit maybe. So when I was calling my teammate, Courtney, to ask her, like, I was like, oh, I got to do the cooking show. I don't know what I'm going to make. For some reason, we got to talking about the cold brew carafe. And she said that she hadn't made cold brew yet in it. And she said, but I am using it right now because I'm getting ready for a bachelorette party and they want a bunch of vodka gummies. So I was like, what? And she goes, it's amazing. She said, I've made the most amazing vodka gummies. And then I have flavored vodka afterwards. So I talked to her about it. I asked her, does it gunk it up? What did you do? So I'm going to talk to you real quick about that because it was such a simple process. So I've got my cold brew carafe that I use daily. So I'm going to have to not make a cold brew for tomorrow. And I have it full right now, just above the first line. So I'm going to put a few more gummies. I've heard online that the Haribo works the best. So I'm putting those in there. And then this does not have to be refrigerated and it does not take weeks like some of the recipes do. I'm using Smirnoff. This is just plain vodka and not flavored in any way. And all you got to do is make sure they're covered. Now this is more like normally when you make them in a bowl or something and you don't have to use as much vodka because you're just covering the gummies. But this is going to make, what she did was used it over and over and made multiple sets of gummies. And then she said that the vodka turned out to be delicious. And she said, it's probably my favorite vodka now. And I am not a drinker. I think this is the first time in my life I ever purchased vodka. And it took us, Sarah helped me. It took us, I think we had to go 5 different places. I have no idea about vodka. I know that you make a screwdriver with it and I have had a screwdriver, but get your gummies covered and that's it. You leave it out. I'm putting my cap on there. You leave it out. And if you leave those overnight, they're going to swell to about twice their size. The lady that I read about, she said she put them in for 20 hours. And here's a fun fact. If you're wondering how much alcohol content a gummy bear has, a vodka gummy has, the ones that were soaked 20 hours, she said gained 2 grams. And she said to have the amount of alcohol that's in a typical drink, which is 1.5 ounces, you would have to eat 21 gummies. 21 gummy bears or 14 gummy worms will give you 1.5 ounces of vodka. So there you go. You know how easily you can eat gummies. And I guess they're really good. So I'm going to find out. I've never had them. So that's my fun new use for the cold brew carafe.